envelope in the rain. Eddie Hart walks alone through neon-washed rain in Chicago. The camera slowly pushes toward Eddie's exhausted face. He approaches the courthouse entrance, rain pooling at the steps. Empty corridors stretch under flickering lights as Eddie starts work. A rag snags on a hidden envelope wedged behind dusty files. He opens it. Photos, names, and money trails spill into view. Eddie's eyes widen as the implications hit him. He stuffs the evidence into his jacket. Decision made. Footsteps echo. The corridor seems to narrow with each flicker. He whispers to himself, a vow in the sterile light. He steps into the rain. Shadows linger behind him. Lightning rips above the skyline as he vanishes into the night. Hunter, in the rain. Eddie senses eyes on him as the bus rattles through wet city streets. Focus slips from Eddie's reflection to the restless shadow behind him. He lowers his gaze, clutch tightening under the jacket. The bus doors hiss. Eddie steps into rain, city neon bending in puddles. Another set of footsteps follows, steady and unhurried, just behind. Eddie glances back, pace tightening, city glow wavering on the pavement. He slips into a cramped alley, brick walls slick with rain and grime. From above, Eddie looks small, cornered between cold, dripping walls. A silhouette halts at the alley's edge. Eddie's hand quivers against brick. The silhouette moves on, and Eddie releases a hard, shaky breath. He steps out, walking fast toward the city's distant lights, intent set. Words fade in over rain and neon. The hunter has become the hunted. A line of light through blinds. Eddie lays out photos and papers with trembling hands. The camera creeps toward Eddie's face. Half lit, a creak from the hall freezes him mid-breath. He clutches an envelope tight, listening for movement. Silence returns. He eases out a shaky breath. He grabs his phone, urgency pulsing in his grip. He photographs every page, methodical despite the shake. The progress bar crawls on the screen, sending. He whispers a vow, eyes blazing with resolve. Rain thrashes the window. The city blurs into streaked neon. Thunder rolls. The skyline trembles under bruised clouds. Words appear over the storm. The first step into courage cannot be undone. Only the beginning. Morning light slices through blinds. As Eddie grips the camera tilts to Eddie's stunned face. Realization whispers ripple. Eddie follows a man's gaze slipping into the crowd. At night, Eddie finds his door ajar and steps into wreckage. Eddie kneels amid the debris, fury simmering in his eyes. They think fear will stop me, Eddie whispers. Resolve. Eddie packs surviving documents, purpose guiding every movement. Under a flickering streetlight, Eddie strides toward the sky. Text declares the battle ahead as Eddie disappears into the night. The weight of the truth. Eddie faces an unreadable board as a paper slides toward him. You are suspended until further notice. Eddie's throat tightens. The courthouse doors slam. The winter air hits Eddie like a wall. People avert their eyes. The city makes him feel small. In darkness, Eddie settles onto the cold fire escape outside his window. City lights glitter, like they belong to someone else. They can take my job, not the truth, he whispers. Silence breaks. His eyes harden with a new determination. He places the reporter's card beside his phone on the table. His fingers hover, trembling over the phone's glass. Text fades in over darkness. Even broken courage can burn brighter. A last glint on the card and phone suggests a decision is near. Ledger in the dark. Eddie follows a cryptic message into the abandoned subway tunnel. His light stutters across wet concrete and peeling tags. A rusted bench appears, half buried in grime and shadow. Over his shoulder, shaky handwriting fills the ledger page. His eyes widen as the entries grow darker and more precise. Something moves. Darkness bends at the tunnel's edge. His beam slices through the black, hunting a figure. A broken man steps out, shaking, more fragile. He offers a metal flash drive, his hand trembling toward Eddie. Eddie accepts it. Fear in his eyes hardens into. He turns toward the exit, shoulders squared against the dark. His silhouette climbs the stairs, the city's pale light ahead. Into the light. Media throng surges as cuffed executives descend the courthouse steps. Eddie watches from the crowd, hood up, eyes fixed. A trusted reporter declares, "Thanks to an anonymous source, justice has prevailed." Eddie lowers his hood as morning light reveals his face. The crowd parts as Eddie steps toward the staircase with purpose. Low angle frames Eddie ascending, the courthouse towering above. He reaches the top step, the city skyline opening behind him. A hush settles as Eddie faces the horizon, breathing steady. Courage isn't being fearless. It's moving forward even when fear. Resolve fills his eyes, light reflecting like two small. He walks into the sunrise, shoulders squared, future unafraid. Screen text appears. Bravery begins in darkness, but ends in light.